I would like to remind everybody that before speaking, please introduce yourself so that we know whose voice we're listening to. Then with that, this is Grant Ritter, chair of the committee. Could we begin with a roll call of attendance?
And Mr. Chair, this meeting is also being recorded for the minute-taking purposes, as well as for posting of the recording of the proceedings on the agency's website. The roll call, Grant Ritter.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Katz is just joining us. Pamela Rasek. Paul Philpott. Shelley Sweet.
Here.
Thank you. Christopher McKiernan. And Matthew Katz.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Okay, great to hear. Okay, do we have any public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, we did not receive any public comments.
All right. So now that we do have a quorum, could I have a motion to accept the minutes from March 4th of this committee meeting?
Motion to accept.
Thank you.
Shelley.
All right, seconded? Did I hear a second?
Yes.
Matthew, okay. Were there any comments, edits, changes to the minutes? If not, could we have a vote on the approval of the minutes from March 4th?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Grant Ritter.
Yes, accept.
Pamela Rasek. Paul Philpott. Shelley Sweet.
A.
Ms. Sweet, did you abstain or did you vote in favor?
A in favor.
Okay, thank you. Christopher McKinnon and Matthew Katz.
In favor, approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, minutes are accepted. With that, I'll turn it over to John Carbone to discuss Business Plus.
I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. John Carbone, Director of Small Group Product Development and Broker Support. Today we have a short agenda. We're going to start off by going through our Business Plus demo of our final platform. Our NFT partner will give you a complete overview from start to end regarding our brokers, our employers, and our employer field, show you the enrollment process from our employee standpoint, the quoting aspect of it, and also to our little payment method. We're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to do that. Then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about the marketing strategy that we have in place to support our Business Plus platform, and also how we're going to be integrating in the future our small business platform. At the end, we're going to have a little brief discussion regarding the rate reviews and overviews and process of that by Susan. But we are excited to inform everybody that we have launched our Business Plus platform effective July 7th. Our platform is stable and is in a working, and we're gaining great traction. Our focus on this platform is about execution, adoption of training, and growth. We're currently right now have trained over 350 plus brokers. We have about 350 more in the hopper, and we're doing that by going out to broker agencies, holding 4-hour seminars in person at different types of spots. It can either be at a hotel, it could be at a library, it could be in designated spots here at Access Health. We see early adoption and strong quoting opportunities for what's coming in the pipeline for Q4 and 1/1 open enrollment. So we're excited on the traction, and we're getting out in front of our non-for-profits where our main focus is going to be over the next 4 to 6 months to make sure that we get out there and give them the help they need. I think it's important we talk about growth and what some of our targets are going forward. So in the next, by the end of 2026, we're projecting to have anywhere between 5,000 members on the platform with a stretch goal of 7,500. And over the next 3 to 5 years, we're shooting for our goal to be 15 to 20,000 members. As many of you know, this is a new platform, and as we get it out to the public, we get incredible feedback from our brokers, our employers, and our employees, and we're going to continue to grow the platform and figure out how to improve on it. Some of the future projects that we have in place is integrating healthcare.gov into our platform to allow those opportunities to be able to quote those employees that are in other states and be able to provide them the same experience. Continue to refine our quoting tool and improve on that so our brokers can get those quotes out to those employers and be able to express what we need to do for our employees, our non-for-profits, and our small businesses here in the state of Connecticut. And then on top of that, to integrate our small group platform into this Business Plus platform. So we're excited about the future and the direction we're heading in. So at this point right now, what I'd like to do is turn it over to our vendor who helped us throughout the past 14 to 16 months to bring this project to fruition and to meet our deadline of 7/1. It's Newfield Technology. So Kunal, I'd like to turn it over to you. But if anybody has any questions before I do that, I'll pause for a second.
Hi everyone, this is Kunal. If there are no further questions, I'll get started with the demo. This is the Business Plus portal right now from one of our test environments, and this portal is accessible to brokers, employers, and employees. There are different versions of the pages and different features which are laid out depending on who the user is, and they can see what are the available features on the basis of the user selection. We've also given a quote generation tool right on the homepage where even if you are not logged in, you do not have an existing account, you can get a very quick quote with ICRA for your business, where you enter your basic details, your monthly budget, what kind of classes you want to set up. And we acknowledge the fact that not everyone may be familiar with how ICRA works. So we are defaulting some standard IRS classes, which of course the users can edit if they want to alter their contribution levels. They can upload their employee census, select what kind of plans they are looking for, and then the system will generate a quote for them. And usually this quote will look something like this, where it will lay out what the business's monthly or annual budget is. It gives you an avenue to compare how much you're spending on your current group plan, how much would you be incurring with ICRA program, and what your savings would look like. Uh, Based on the market feedback, this tool is constantly evolving as well. If, as an example, we got a feedback that besides the ICRA contribution, it would help to have side-by-side premium comparison as well, because individual plans may in general be cheaper. So we are going to keep adding those features. So we are moving in a very agile manner on this. So this Excel goes into a lot of details. It has information at an employee level and each employee's household. Of course, if a business needs help, they can take help from a broker to understand this and get themselves set up onto the program. So I'll simulate how the portal works as a broker first, and then gradually we'll look at it as an employer or an employee experience. So we have a multi-factor authentication, and the system is deeply integrated with our core HIX platform. So security, compliance, maintaining the uniqueness of enrollments, preventing duplicity of coverage, all of that gets taken care of because of how we have architected this platform. So when the broker logs in, they will see all the customers they have over here. Again, this is a test environment. So as an example, I have a business called Joseph Transportation Services. The entire information is available. Of course, it can be edited if they want to change the logo or some other information like contact information. Then the classes can again be modified. You can change your contribution. You can set up age-based contribution. You can have a separate structure for different kinds of employees. And you can also change the contribution if you want to add some contribution for the spouse, if you want to say add another $50 for each dependent. So the platform gives you flexibility to do all of that. Then there is a functionality which is available to update the census. So normally we also allow the brokers or the employers to import their census. If they already have it in an Excel format, then they can just import it from there and it gets absorbed in the system. But once it has been updated, like the brokers will have the flexibility to modify the members directly from the system as well. So you do not have to constantly import the Excel. So once the census has been established, you can generate a quick quote, or you can get into the full quoting mechanism for the platform, which will be even more detailed. The brokers can look at the history of the quotes that they had generated in the past. They can take a quote for a different business in the same domain as a reference to establish a domain, to establish a quote for a different business. So this helps towards that. Then we have integrated payments as well right into the platform. So for one of the businesses which I selected as an example in this case, which is Joseph, $564.67 is pending to be paid for Anthem. So the broker has a oversight or monitoring, and they can remind the employer in case the payment is pending towards that. And then it has the breakdown as well, which is available. Then we have all the clients at an individual level, who are connected to this particular broker, and they can be looked at from here. The brokers can check for their messages if there are any incoming requests, if their clients have had any changes. So that is also available to them over here. As an example, there are multiple people who had initiated a request to this broker, so the broker has the option to decline or accept these requests. Any questions at this point? Otherwise, I'll jump into the employer mode. Right. So I'm going to log in as an employer. So when the employer logs in, their dashboard experience is going to be different from a broker. They will have different dashboards which are available, quick view of how many employees are there, how many are on ICHRA, how many did not opt for ICHRA, how many quotes were generated from one broker or multiple brokers, what kind of classes have been set up. So this is a quick view. And then the employers also have the flexibility to modify their classes, which they want to use for driving the ICHRA program for themselves. The employees have the similar experience for editing, adding, removing any employees. They can also create code for themselves. So if some employer or business wants to independently run with the codes without using a broker, they do have the facility to do that as well. Code history, the company profile, messaging. Then for payments, it's available over here. Now, if the employer has to make a payment, they can initiate the payment from here. They have the option to use a card or a bank account. Let's say I want to use a bank account. I can add the information of my bank account over here and then process the complete payment right from the system. And we have an integration established with the carriers using different electronic files according to the industry standards, which are communicating to them on whose payment got transmitted on when this transaction was completed. Then I'll jump into the employee experience. Yeah. So as an employee, when they first log in into the system, they will be requested for confirming this particular broker. Now, the employee would be recommended a broker who was set up from the business, but the employees do have the flexibility to change their broker as well. They are not bound to work only with the broker their employer has set up the ICHRA program with. And then this is a case of an employer who completed the enrollment with ICHRA. So the information of the plan, the premium, how much the employer is contributing as a part of ICHRA program, what's the responsible amount, all of that is available over here. And then there rest of the information as well. So if someone wants to report a change, like a new member is being added, the entire experience is available over here. If someone wants to end their coverage, as an example, someone got terminated, and now because of their change in income, they may be eligible for APTC or Medicaid, they can either change report or they can end their coverage, and they can look into other benefits which they may be eligible for, and they do not have to enter all of this information again. The entire information flows through seamlessly to the HIX platform, and they can apply for APTC and look at that. If someone wants to understand the ICRA affordability calculation, I'm sorry, I got logged in. If someone wants to look into the affordability calculation, that is going to be available as well, which I'll just show you in a minute. And besides that, like they can also look at the different health plans. So this is the ICRA affordability calculation. If someone wants to understand the details of how it works, like this was the household income, this was the monthly affordability limit. It is driven through the lowest cost silver plan. What's the maximum out of pocket? So the entire details are available right over here. Then if someone wants to see what are the other plans which are available, so we have a very concise view of all the plans laid out in one place. And of course, they can apply filters. Let's say I want to look at Anthem's specific silver plans details. I can look over here. So this was a very quick overview of the system. Of course, there are a lot of details in the background, and we'll need a longer demo for showing everything. But if you have any questions on what you saw so far, I'll be happy to answer. Right. Back to you, John.
No, thank you, Kunal. As many of you kind of see, we put a lot of thought and detailed into this. Our team is working with our broker communities and our employers communities and giving them white glove service. We're helping them through the entire step and process and continuing to give them the strategies and the training with the platform and going out with them to their clients to explain this for their, renewals and all that. As many of you guys heard from the beginning of this, we're super focused in our non-for-profit communities. And I think it's important that you kind of hear what our business strategy is and our marketing strategy is going to be with that. Mintz and Hoke, Ben is here from Mintz and Hoke, who will be able to kind of talk you through that. And at this point, if there are no questions, I'd like to turn it over to Ben and allow him to go through our marketing strategy, where we were, where we are now, and where we're going in the future.
Yeah,
So, Ben?
Matthew has a question.
Oh, yes, Matthew. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I raised my hand and I was quiet. I know it was unique for me, so I apologize. I just have one question. Do we have any volume on use since this went live? Again, with the understanding of it out there, are people using it? I know you're constantly evolving it, and it looked really good. I'm just curious about the use, not people signing up. That takes time, but the use of the actual platform. Thank you.
So the great news is we do currently have members on the platform. We've quoted over 175 quotes as of today, and that continues to grow. And these are staging for 10-1 and 11-1 renewals and 1-1. So we're excited what the open enrollment's going to bring us. So to answer your question very briefly, yes, we do. It's right now where we have about 175 employers that have quoted, and that is picking up speed as we go get closer and closer to the fourth quarter and Q1 for 2026.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. That shows it's actually being used. It's not just up there to play around with. So that's great.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Ben?
Hey, everybody. Ben Cadwell, Mintz and Hoke, as John said, and I'm going to walk through some information to John's point about where we've been from a marketing standpoint, where we're at today, and where we're going. So wanted to start by just giving a roadmap for what started the marketing journey for the Business Plus. As you can see here, we started this back in Q4 of 2024 with brand and message development. That was building out the name, the look and feel, the key messages, and the initial marketing materials. From there, we worked with John and team to support legislative presentations that were going on with the team to make sure that we were covering key points with the legislative community and people were aware of what was coming. And then that moved right into broker training, as John alluded to. That's been a big focus to make sure we are providing the broker community with materials, demo the platform, and ensure that a successful launch. The next section is the earned and paid media campaign. So at the end of Q4 2024, we developed a paid media plan for advertising. We started to develop campaign creative materials. We did launch a press release to announce that this would be launching on 7/1 back in the first quarter of 2025. And then we began the paid advertising and public relations efforts at that point. That brought us to launch at 7/1/7/1. And where we're at today is just beginning the post-launch ad campaign. And I'll talk through on the next few slides just some examples of some of these things and how they played out. So for our first phase of work, we calling this kind of build. We're building awareness. That was beginning in early 2025, and Business Plus was introduced to the market. As I mentioned before, this started with the presentations to the legislative community. We expanded it out into the broker community and then transitioned to the public at large with an integrated media mix to build awareness ahead of the launch, again, with a priority focus on the nonprofit community. Some of the examples I'll just touch on, as you see here, some news coverage with the Hartford Business Journal. There were advertorials. There's been customized collateral for each of the different audiences and communities that we've developed. Some of which you see here. An example of a paid social advertisement that was done on the bottom left, and then some other collateral on the top right, and just an example of a presentation that John gave actually at the Small Business Summit to start announcing that Business Plus was coming. So that was our first phase. If we jump to the next slide. Phase 2 was really around the launch timeframe, so about the June-July timeframe. So as we approach go live, the trainings and meetings have been a major focus to educate the broker community and help drive Business Plus as a solution for groups. Our paid media efforts did expand with some additional sponsorship opportunities, some digital tactics targeting the business community and specifically nonprofits as a priority. Some of the images that you'll see here are just some of the trainings, the seminars that John mentioned before that have gone on in New Haven and Mystic and Hartford, continuing to do these throughout the state to make sure they're reaching everyone where they are. Some other examples that I'll call out here is just some more digital advertisements that you'll see towards the bottom. There's a presentation done with NABIP that John had given. Traveler sponsorship, as you can see on some pictures on the left side there, and then just some key numbers to call out as this advertising effort really started and the media effort really started. We have developed a landing page for Business Plus to give more information about it, and that has 78,000 page views, people coming there and viewing the site. And also submitting a form to request more information and speak with the team as to see if this is a solution that'll work for them. So we have over 1,200 form submissions for people who are inquiring for more information. And that will bring us to the next slide, touches on our phase 3, which we're calling kind of amplify. Now's our opportunity to amplify the message, and there's a couple key areas that I'll touch on what we're doing for this. So we're going to transition now from more of a pre-launch introduction and building awareness around it and educating people about ICHRA as a solution and Business Plus in general. Now we have to amplify the message with additional conversion tactics dedicated specifically, as I mentioned before, towards the nonprofit community. We're focusing on these 5 areas in order to drive broker adoption and ultimately enrollment, right, from a group in which ultimately is an individual enrollment into an ICHRA as we approach that critical enrollment time of the year. So just quickly go through these different areas. The first thing is creative and content evolution. What you saw in the previous slides was our initial creative concept, we call it, to explain what ICHRA and Business Plus is and build awareness. We're now refining that concept to shift from that education to now point to some of the proof of savings that are possible with some of the quoting output that's been generated so far. So tangible results and messaging that's really pointed specifically to the nonprofit community. And we're building out all those assets to update across digital, social, broadcast, and other collateral needs. We also want to continue to support the broker community by making sure they have materials that can support target nonprofit group conversion. So we're exploring co-branded email blasts with them, direct mail opportunities, and other collateral templates that can help in that conversation to ensure enrollment. For targeted media, so with our paid media strategy, we're deploying a very targeted approach, as we've talked about throughout this presentation, to small nonprofits through paid media efforts and also community engagement with associations, groups like the CT Nonprofit Alliance, also making sure that we're reaching out to chambers to keep on spreading the word with boots on the ground in the community. For local and national PR efforts, we are going to continue to push this to get coverage, to point to some of the initial success, as John touched on, and the feedback that we're getting from businesses with local pitching efforts, but also that's in support to a more comprehensive national pitch effort in support of the Access Health CT brand. And as Small Group is fully integrated into the platform, as that transition is being made, we will also work with the team to transition all brand ID, brand in general over to Business Plus, moving away from the Access Health CT small business brand and really focusing on the Business Plus name and message, given the integration. You can jump to the next slide. I see Matt has a question.
Yeah, and I apologize. Can we go? Is it possible to jump back a minute? Or actually, we don't. Well, with the branding change to Business Plus from small business, how is that being presented to the broader community? I apologize. Not. I mean, we know what's happening. We know how it's transitioning. How is, it's been seen as small business for a while, whether it's gained a lot of traction or little. But how is it? What are the key message points? And maybe I missed that. I didn't see those key points of messaging it for the transition. And maybe we can just talk for a few minutes about that piece of it, so that we're telling people we're growing, we're expanding, we're changing slightly the focus. I guess that's what's missing. I apologize.
John, do you want me to take that, or do you want to jump in?
No, I'm more than happy to jump in. Matt, great question. And I think that kind of jumps up.
John, Matt, I will apologize for making this, for making us smarter. So if you have any questions, please ask us, because that makes us smarter. And we appreciate the questions, and there's no need to apologize for that. But there's a strategy to changing the name. John?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're doing, or thanks, James. One of the things that we're doing as we're going through the training, we're explaining to everybody what Business Plus is. Business Plus is going to be the tool that houses the ICRA product and our small group product and any future developments of products that we come in place. So when people come to shop, employers come to shop, they're going to see that whole entire warehouse of product lines, and they're going to be able to pick and choose the product that's going to best fit their needs and their price point. So we're bringing them through the journey and explaining to them what Business Plus is and how it will help them in the future and how they'll be able to shop for different types of product lines. So it's more of a one-on-one conversation through training, and then as we integrate other products, which is going to be the small group, which we'll talk about in a quick second, but we kind of elaborated to most of it. So I hope that answers your question a little bit.
It does. So it's really an expansion and taking on more of the business community, not less. That's what I wanted to get. That's what I thought we had talked about in the past. I just hadn't seen that yet in the slide deck. And I just wanted to make sure we're not reducing our footprint. We're trying to expand it. That's
correct. Absolutely. We're trying to expand it for our employers here in Connecticut residents. Yes. Ben?
Yep, great. Thank you. So I will just keep going through a couple more slides here just to give an overview on the paid media approach and what we're looking at through the end of the year. We are leveraging a mix of lead generation tactics with our paid media and also high engagement awareness tactics that are informed by previous campaigns and what we've seen to be successful to drive engagement throughout Connecticut, and specifically with our target of the nonprofit community. They are digital focused, as you can see with some of the examples here, which is going to allow us to be able to have that precise targeting to the small nonprofit target audience, and it gives us some flexibility to change out messages and test out different creative units, and it'll help ensure meaningful connections with audiences wherever they are online. So tactics like paid social is a key element of the plan, paid search, display banners. We are going to leverage streaming audio platforms, streaming video platforms, e-blasts. This will all drive both awareness and ultimately leads into the pipeline. We can jump to the next slide. And this is just an example of what you'll see with some of the partners that we'll be leveraging for the paid media mix in Connecticut. Key publications like CT Insider, CT Mirror, Hartford Business Journal, some of the broadcast networks such as NBC CT, News 12, Fox 61, and then just some examples of what we're talking about when we talk about paid social and digital display ads and in-app, which is just like this is an example of the ESPN app, banner ads, display banner ads that will show up in that experience as well. And again, this creative is in the process of getting refined as we move into the post-launch period. And then just a quick summary on some next steps. We are proceeding with, as I mentioned before, the local and national pitching to get earned media coverage out there about the Business Plus platform as an opportunity. And then creative asset refinement and build out, as I spoke about before, we're finalizing the paid media schedule to take us through the end of December. And we're continuing with our next set of broker trainings and material needs to support those in that community. So we'll be doing those, as John mentioned, the seminars and supporting the team on that regard throughout the state for the foreseeable future too. Happy to take any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. So go ahead, Matt. Question?
Sorry, my computer is slow today. I think that's great. I like the social media. I agree, having run a very large not-for-profit, we're all focused on digital. It's lower cost, easier touch. So doing more with that, not less, I think makes a lot of sense. And you'll hit more people that way than I guess the traditional media, and it's probably less expensive in the long run. So I think that's great and a good direction. I think in the past we had focused more on maybe TV and radio, but it's great that we're shifting more towards some of that online media presence.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Thanks, Matt. And yeah, we have continued over the past few years to transition more and more to digital, given the targeting opportunities that are there. And you know, some of the more traditional tactics like TV or print or billboards out of home, kind of moving away from that to try to make the most of the opportunities that we have with the budget and everything. Thank you.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. So the shop platform overview, as you guys we've been talking a little bit about right now today about what we're going to be doing in the future. It is important for us to integrate our small business platform into this product, into the Business Plus platform, to basically be able to create that unified shopping experience. We want to make sure that we give our employers and our employees and our brokers and the community an opportunity to see what fits them best. There could be opportunities for employers out there that the small group product and ICHRA can work together, and can basically an employer can have both products with certain rules that are in place according to the IRS and CMS. So with that being said, over the next 10 to 12 months, our team here at Access Health, we have a steering committee, and then we have an assigned team that will be working on the project going forward to implement it and integrate it into our platform and other tools also, like our individual dental product, and also, as I expressed in the beginning, healthcare.gov, because we feel like these are the necessary tools that our employers here in the state of Connecticut are looking for, and our brokers are looking for too, to make this easier and seamless. The great part about these products is that they will all speak to each other, and that includes the individual side. Whatever happens on the Business Plus platform side happens on the HIX, the individual side application. So the data is there for everybody to have access to it. And the URL, when we tell people, they say, hey, where do I go shop for this? We let them know you need to go to accesshealthct.com and basically choose the blue button, which is choose Business Plus, and it helps that journey be a little more smoother. We're trying to create that main avenue of having everybody come to the main platform and be able to shop. So stay tuned more on the shop platform, and hopefully in the next meeting we'll have a little more information once we have established and met, and the team has met and gone through some requirements. So if anybody has any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer. Okay. I know we had a quick overview, and I know it was kind of a rate review overview. And Matt, I know you had a question, so we asked Susan to kind of just give a little 5-minute overview of what's going on currently right now, and hopefully we can answer your question. So thank you, Susan, for attending. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Hi, everybody. Susan Rich By. I just have some of the steps in the process here, just to make it clear. So the insurance department, just to kind of start with, is the regulator with regard to rates, and they have the authority to review and make those determinations on the rate and form filings that the carriers submit for fully insured plans. Access Health does not have that capability or authority. So all of the rate and form filings are due for this year, for 2026. They were due to the insurance department on June 1st, which they all filed. And then the insurance department undertakes their review process. And then they also recently, I believe it was last week, held their annual public hearing on the rates. And then they are anticipating releasing the final rate decisions in early to mid-September. As far as Access Health goes, and this is for individual as well as small group fully insured plans, medical and dental. And then on the Access Health side, our role is certifying plans that they are able to be offered on the marketplace. So as part of the same kind of connected process, the issuers file their applications with Access Health with their same form filings that they used with the insurance department, also on June 1st, to make that easier for everybody. And then our team has been doing their work over the summer, reviewing all of the different aspects in the application to make sure that they are compliant with our certification requirements. And then at the end of the process, once the rates and everything are finalized and everything is all set to go, Access Health certifies the plans that are offered on the marketplace. So I will pause if anyone has any questions.
Okay,
Matt.
Matthew.
Thank you, and thank you for that. That was very helpful. I guess my question was more of, do we think we know that there hasn't been the final rate determination, but was more, how much were those rates going to impact, the shop component compared to the, will it drive people in our direction, or will it drive people away from us, given some of those proposed rate increases being pretty significant? And whether or not, and it's good that no one's pulled out of the, of Access Health this year, but I was just more concerned about the rates themselves driving people away, or driving people towards us in I guess a positive sense. And I had not seen anything about that discussion from this group tied to the shop side.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, and I don't know if James wants to weigh in too, we don't have any influence. Obviously, there were some very big increases requested for this year. I think the increases requested are larger on the individual side, but I don't remember off the top of my head than on the small group side. There's a lot, obviously, in the individual market, there's a lot going on. The potential expiration of the enhanced premium tax credits is a really large one. And then also the final rule that came out in June, and the One Big Beautiful Bill, which have big impacts on the individual market. They don't really impact the small group market, but also over the last few years, as this, advisory committee is aware, as carriers have pulled out of the fully insured small group market and the market is shifting and moving around, that definitely has an impact on the experience the carriers have and the rates that they file. The insurance department is tasked with ensuring that the rates are fair, not so much fair, sorry, that was the wrong word, that they are adequate, for the risk, and that they, are not excessive. So that is the work they do. It's kind of hard to look at, like, do we like these rates? Obviously, they can't do that. So, and I think having ICRA in there as an alternative, especially right now, is a really good option for businesses.
And I guess that's
So
what
Matt,
I was driving. driving at, I'm sorry, was it's unfortunate where things are, but we have now a new program that actually could take on a bunch of those individuals that are potentially losing their federal subsidy and potentially seeing their individual insurance go up. It might, how we kind of encourage, drive, recommend people to the shop side is what I was kind of getting at, because it is so negative on the individual side, but we have some positive things to say on the shop side.
Yeah, so Matt, I think that the Business Plus platform for small businesses is going to be a great option once it catches on, because you could actually enroll your employees into the individual market through the exchange if you meet all the requirements that John and Kunal talked about. So we are excited about that. This is the next item is a double-edged sword. Is because of the changes that are coming in 27, 28 and Medicaid, that will force people out of Medicaid, and that could also be helpful to the exchange, individual as well as some small businesses as well, because a lot of folks who work for small businesses may be on Medicaid because they don't pay enough money. So they may qualify for Medicaid. Some of them may lose coverage and as a result of a big, beautiful bill that Susan mentioned. So we think the right now, looking forward into the future, there will be opportunity to grow the business. Again, based on what we know now, to give you a specific number, it's too early in the process to give you an exact number, but we do think that the Business Plus platform is going to open doors for small businesses to enroll through the exchange.
I guess that's what I was trying to beg that question, which is that, or beg the answer, I guess, is that we've got this new Business Plus. We've got another approach to coverage for small business that before they may have had their employees go on the individual side. And that was good because they had coverage. And I don't want anyone to lose coverage. But now that we have these options in Business Plus and all the unfortunate things we talked about, the loss of subsidies, the big, beautiful bill, all those things that could transition people out of Medicaid and individual, it may be an opportunity to pull them into small business through Business Plus in either or of the ways. And I know we talked about marketing and those things, and you can't really use a negative to market, but there's a negative out there, and maybe finding a way to have as many people as possible jumping in to Business Plus as a way to maintain coverage in this difficult time. I don't know. I was just trying to see the negative on the individual side as a positive for Business Plus. Obviously, we don't want the negative to cause the positive, but if we had a positive and an offering for them, we might as well try to direct people here, because I've only seen in those articles in all the publications the negative of what's happened with the federal bill, the negative with the subsidies, and the high increase in the rates on primarily the individual side, but no one's talking about whether there's still these options on the business side.
Yeah. So Matt, we have not started our marketing yet on the individual side to talk about the options available for those who are losing coverage, and we're going to encourage everyone. You will be seeing in September, October, marketing materials, TV, radio, online, emphasizing shopping, shop, compare, and enroll. And everything is going to be on the table. So to your point about the negative, maybe positive for Access Health, you're absolutely right. That is part of our strategy as we lay out the next phase of our outreach. That folks who are losing coverage because of Medicaid loss, we will be marketing to them directly to make sure that they know they have an option available to them. At the end of the day, our mission at Access Health is to lower the uninsured in the state of Connecticut by any means necessary. So if someone's losing Medicaid coverage because of because of an action at the federal level. We have a mission to make sure it's in our mission to make sure we catch all of them. To make all of them aware that Access Health has plans that may be affordable to them. So that's what we're going to do. So again, it's a double-edged sword. People losing coverage to Medicaid free health insurance, we will do everything we can to capture them before they go with a gap in coverage. But again, more marketing to come. The outreach, again, the Medicaid changes do not kick in until 2027. So we have about a year and 4 months to lay out our strategy to start doing the outreach that we need to do to make sure no one has a gap in coverage more than anything else. But John and team will continue to do the in-person events with the nonprofits to make sure everyone is aware that we have a new platform that offers a good option for small businesses to enroll their employees through Business Plus into the exchange. So that's all part of our thought process. Maybe we have not been clear in our strategy, but that everything you talk about is what we are focused on doing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Susan, thank you.
So,
Appreciate it.
thank you very much, everyone. I guess it's time to ask for a motion to adjourn from someone,
Sure.
some board member.
So moved. This is Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Second?
Second, this is Shelley.
Thank you. All right. Can we have a vote to adjourn, Marson?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Grant Ritter,
Yes.
Pamela Rasek, Paul Philpott, Shelley Sweet,
Yes.
Christopher McKiernan, and Matthew Katz.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you. We are adjourned. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone. We'll
everybody.
see you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye now.
Thank you.